I guess we'll just start. Catchweight interview. I think this is number 21. But this is what is the... Willis has been here multiple times. I was going to say this several times being here, but that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what...
Several times. This is maybe the third time.
This is the third, fourth time?
Third or fourth, yeah.
Oh, man. You are probably... I've had several people in the WXC on now, but you are the reigning champ of the WXC, literally in like through a literal sense, but also through a catchweight update sense. You've been here multiple times.
That's true.
Definitely a veteran. You went through like the growing pains when I had to like harass people on messages, including yourself. This is one of the people that I had harassed on Instagram. You liked one of my things real early. And then I was like, oh, he looks the part. Let me just shoot him a message real quick early in there. And then here we are.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So we're scheduling you, not me, I'm not myself. I have no part in that. But you're scheduled for a fight coming up. We're 2 weeks out, right? It's like July 3rd?
Yep, a little bit less than 2 weeks now. Under 2 weeks.
Under 2 weeks. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm starting to peak. Just gotta focus on my weight cut after this. Next week, just be all focusing on cardio and weight cut.
Yeah, that seems to be. You work out 8 hours a day.
Most of the time, yeah.
He works a full-time. I have a full-time job. He's busting his fucking ass. At the same time, I'm just in an air-conditioned environment. You're 8 hours flipping tires, doing little punchy band things, working on your cardio. I feel bad. There's a lot of people who don't put in even remotely close to that amount of time training, and you're in there full tilt, just shining.
Yeah, I think that's what I gotta do though. I think that's what I gotta do if I'm gonna make it to the UFC level.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna compete with those, because I can make it to the UFC level, but if I'm gonna compete with those guys, I think that's what I gotta do.
I watched. Say again.
I gotta maintain it, be consistent.
Yeah, 100%. And if there's anything Willis is, it's been consistently whooping ass. So, bravo, sir, you're doing very well.
Thank you.
I love it. I love the work ethic. You're like generally happy about it. There's no malice in you. Like when that's the other strange part. Like I was just talking to we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago, and Justin Gonzalez had heard of you. We mentioned you on the podcast because we were talking about Nico. Shouts out First Round Management out here saving Yoel Romero's ass out here. $27 million. He's also representing Willis A. Black out here. And he's like, oh man, that guy's scary as shit. He's real intimidating. I'm like, like first glance, and then also physically, like you're obviously like a fucking physical specimen and a great athlete, and all. But on the other side is like you're also like a really mellow, nice, happy, smiling guy all the time. At least from what I see right now, we're getting the cackling Willis.
Funny story to tell you. My first time ever going to the casino when I was, I think I might have just turned 21, maybe 22, and I went to the casino for the first time. The guy he thought I looked older than 21, so he's gonna just let me through, and then he just stopped me like, wait a minute. He said, you just got this innocent smile about you. I just need to see some license. He stopped me and told me I had an innocent smile about me, and that's why he was making me show my license. That's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just based off the highlights, we don't see Smiling Willis at all, really. we see the manimal out there. We see some bite in the mouthpiece and just knocking motherfuckers out. We see people getting choked from weird guillotine positions off your back. Phenomenal finishes. If there's anything you're gonna watch Willis Black for, it's the finishes. You have the quote, right? It's no decisions. That's your motto. The no decisions motto. We're gonna make t-shirts.
No decisions.
No decisions. No decisions. Willis Black. I fucking love it, man. Yeah. So back to you being crazy, 8 hours a day, just being a madman, working out as many hours as you possibly can. Like I understand why you do that. I feel like most of the top guys do that already, or have been doing it most of their lives, just through wrestling or boxing or whatever martial art they've gotten themselves into. Some people don't. Like BJ Penn was like notorious for that, right? Like he's not the his thing has not been like the 8-hour guy. Like he was like he was like a real natural talent. That's why they call him the prodigy. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But people, I've heard people who like know way more about this sport than I do. Have been longer in it and participated in it, and they said that like he didn't put in like if he put in as much effort as most of the other people around him did, he would be like the most dominant champion of all time. But he's one of the greats. Like for sure, everyone's like he's one of the greats. But people had said that he like had struggled with discipline and shit.
That happens. I think that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. Not you. Not you.
You gotta stay focused, stay humble, and know that, the moment you lose focus is when the things go downhill for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm just a man. Anybody can be beat.
Yeah.
I mean, part gorilla, but
yeah. It's in the name.
Any man can be beat, and that's why it's important to stay focused and stay on top of it, because once you lose that drive, once you lose that passion, that's when things start to go downhill for you.
You're a professional in the sport. You treat it like a job. That's what 8 hours. That's your 8-hour shift. Some people go out there and do fucking clerical bullshit work, or some guys go out there and just fucking take sledgehammers and smash tires and fucking run up hills and do ladder drills and all that shit that I hate doing on a regular basis. You do it 8 hours a fucking day. That's unbelievable. That's fucking unbelievable. It's great though.
The goal is to make sure that, I'm not just, evolving in one aspect of the game, but evolving everywhere. And that includes my physical endurance, my strength, and my skill. So I just got to make sure I'm evolving in all those areas.
Well-rounded. You're well-rounded in your training, well-rounded in your skill set. You do unorthodox things that is accompanied by your skill and accompanied by your strength. So it makes you a formidable opponent, and that's what makes your journey to, I know, the UFC at this point. Unless we have one other fight that we want to talk about after this one. After this fight is that's a separate podcast, but. One other one that we're waiting in the cut for. It's pretty much been it's pretty much been decided. You're gonna get a contender shot probably, or if not a spot in the UFC roster. I believe that. I mean, you've been doing it long enough. You showed the most promise. You've been like, who else? Like, no one else wants to fight you, or you've beat them in the WXC. And the WXC is a fucking top promote. It's a good promotion. If I have to rank them, outside of the UFC and outside of like Bellator and one championship, I think it's like right now. I think it's like UFC and one is like almost there. Bellator is like a little bit lower. But as far as like good production value, awesome fighters, something that's obviously sponsored by the UFC. The WXC's up there. The CFFC's up there, and then there's like a couple other ones that I'm coming across that are pretty good too. Like there's one in Canada. I'm sure every country's got their own, but so far in America, the best ones that I've seen so far outside of the UFC and Bellator is the WXC and the CFFC. They're constantly pumping out awesome guys, and a lot of those guys are going on to the contender. A lot of those guys are getting shots at the contender, getting shots at just the UFC, getting offers from different people, good sponsors, good exposure. Like they're doing a good job putting your names out there on top of being on Fight Pass and all that other shit. And you're at the top of that. Like you're the cream of the crop, as I don't know, whoever made that up, whoever really likes cream and crops. I don't know. I've never even looked into why people say that. But I say it all the time. You're the cream of the crop as far as the WXC goes. It's going to be interesting to see like what kind of matchup problems are going to be at people in welterweight in the UFC, because you've dominated. There's no more matchups left for you to be made unless Brock Lesnar fucking decides to go in the WXC tomorrow. There's not much more else that they can throw at you that's going to put a hitch in your game plan.
The biggest monster that you could possibly think of. I hope not, Brock Lesnar. You stay where you at, sir. You stay right there on SmackDown.
Oh man.
No, but seriously though, we just had a Michigan-made fighter go into the Contender Series, so I'm excited to see what he does. Devin Smith.
Yeah.
And right now I'm kind of young in my career, as a professional. I'm still young in it.
Right.
I think I got a few more fights that I want to do before, I make any type of moves. But hopefully before this year's out, I have the fights that I want. I can make some huge leaps and bounds. I'm doing my training camp here in Michigan and over in Florida. So between Miami and Detroit training camps, I feel like
where in Florida again?
Miami.
Miami? No, I mean like what camp are you training out of there in Florida?
I've been at KO Zone with Gregory Chopin and at Hard Knocks with Henry.
Hard Knocks, that's a fucking really good camp too. I haven't really heard about the other one, but if you're there, I'm assuming that the MMA community is like pretty small as far as like places everyone trains. Like it seems like the top guys pick like a handful of well-known spots in Florida, New Jersey, New York.
Well, Chopin, he's like a 3-time world champion kickboxer, Muay Thai kickboxer. He's like crazy good, crazy outcome. Like he's had some of the best techniques that I've ever seen. And I feel like just in a little bit of time that I've been able to work with him, he's like literally quadrupled my game. Times 10. He's like multiplied my
fucking
game.
Scary to begin with. I even see you sparring on Snapchat every now and then too.
Yeah, so like I'm trying to continue to improve and move forward, And now, I feel like I'm getting to a point where my striking is becoming much better. I'm starting to be able to mix things up. I'm starting to see things a little bit differently, and I think that's one thing that I could never do before.
Right.
I got power in my hands, fast, good reflexes, but now I'm starting to see things as if I'm an actual striker. Like when it comes to grappling, you can just flow, you move, you see your opening, you snatch it up as soon as you see it because you understand the concepts.
Right.
And I'm starting to understand the concepts behind striking, and to the point where like now I'm recognizing my own flaws and I'm able to clean it up in the midst of sparring. You see what I'm saying? In the midst of the action, I'm able to clean up my own flaws because I'm recognizing it. And I'm recognizing when my opponent's making mistakes.
Right.
Before I couldn't like really set things up, as well,
You're right.
I just go for it. Got heavy hands. I get lucky, knock you out sometimes, But now I'm able to see a lot better. I have a better vision. Like, I see you dropping your hand right there, and I can counter you. You know what I'm saying? I can set you up and counter you. I couldn't do that before.
It's called
setup.
It's called look into the future.
Yep. The setups for me used to be, I'm coming at you, and something's gonna open up. That was just how I could try and set up better, and draw something out of you rather than hope that something comes out from me pressuring, So we'll see like in live action, how much I've actually improved. But I feel so much better, as far as my striking. I feel so much more intelligent when it comes to my striking. Right. And I hope to be able to display that in the cage soon, especially against a veteran like this. So
yeah, let's get into your upcoming matchup. I haven't really heard much more than what you've told me. I don't think I've seen him fight before, but this is a UFC veteran you're fighting. And then this is also like this is like if you follow mixed martial arts past the casual level, right? If you go on to Fight Pass and you go watch the upcoming prospects or prospects that have been around for a while, the common theme is they have a guy that's coming up in the ranks or has been hot in the ranks and has been doing real well, and they put him against somebody who's been in the UFC before, right? So they just did that with Justin James. I don't remember what Warrior Wednesday that was. That might have been the third one. So what are we at?
You talking Warfield?
Yeah, he fought Warfield. Wasn't he? He was either in Bellator or in the UFC before.
Okay, yeah, that was Warrior Wednesday 3.
Right. Yes, Warrior Wednesday 3. And
it was the last show. I think that was the last show
which you were at.
Yeah.
Willis is a man of the people here. Not only is he going out there whooping people's asses, he's also watching people get their asses whooped in the same places that he would have done it. That's dedication. That's dedication to his craft and his art, and obviously he's a fan of the sport too. But yes, so Justin James got lined up with that UFC guy. He mauled him, and now it's nowhere but up from there. I've heard some rumors or heard some good things about him and his career and what's coming next. So I think the next jump for him is going to be there.
about time.
Yeah.
They should have been gave him a shot.
I'd like to see one more fight from him before he goes, though, and this is kind of in the predicament that you're in. I'd like to see him fight Austin Tweedy before he gets out of here. I would like to see that matchup.
Both of those guys deserve a shot.
Yep. I can. I don't want to say anything now, but like I can. I don't know, right? But I would hope, right? If you're Dana White and you like matchmaking, Austin Tweedy would fight Justin James in the fucking Contender Series. That would be dope as shit on ESPN Plus, sir. That would be good. The people need to see that fight. There is some bad blood there.
I'm not going to shoot nobody down, but you know who I believe would win.
Listen, the first round guys stick with each other. They're a crazy ass team. I understand. You got the bias. I can't pick a side. I have to be the unbiased party in the mix, right? I can't, on my show be like disparaging other fighters. That'd be fucked up. I think that's not cool to do to other fight. Number one, I don't think that's like fair because he's not even like able to like defending himself. You know what I mean? So I'm always going to talk like they're in the room. That's like one piece of advice Joe Rogan's given 1,000 times is talk like fighters in the fucking room with you because, they could be one day. So I don't ever want to be, and just, for myself, because like, I don't want to be that fucking sleazebag, Colin Coward type character where I'm just going to say some crazy shit about people who I know are not going to fuck me up, but could. Like, I'll just say some wild from the hip shit to get some likes. Like, if I have some wild off the hip shit to say, it's because I believe it, but I won't ever just choose someone because I know who they are. If like you're like put a gun to my head, you have to choose. Sure, I'll choose somebody, but I would love to see that matchup because their styles are very, very in your face and abrasive, and both those guys are really good fighters. And this would be the third time it would have been scheduled, I think. So, there's a little bit of, they have a barbs back and forth a little bit, and they both of them have no fear in their hearts, like, at all. So there's that little bit of that backstory, but the skill is there, the athleticism's there. Between the two of them, I think they had something like 11 finishes. Like, that's just on paper. It's what you get ESPN Plus for. It's what you turn on Dana White's Contender Series. So I would love to see that. I would also like to see a similar thing happen to you, but we will cross that bridge. We're going to talk about this upcoming fight you have.
I think that it's going to happen, but yes, after this fight, we're going to circle back to this because I think that it's going to happen after this fight. So.
Yes. All right, so tell me about the gentleman that you're going to be matched up against in less than 2 weeks.
Fast Eddy Edwards.
Yes.
My guy, he's legit. He's legit. Pretty well-rounded fighter, He likes to stand and bang. He likes to grapple. He got a pretty well-rounded game. So I think that it's gonna be interesting to see where this is gonna lead. I don't think that this is one of those fights that because two people are rounded well is gonna go to decision. I think this is one of them fights that we both rounded. One mistake on one side, it can be the end of the fight. So where my mindset is. My mindset is if you want to come out and bang, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you're coming to do. Let's finish this round 1. Let's finish it round 2. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we can finish it round 5, but let's finish it. That's my motto. No decisions. I'm standing by that. I want you to finish it. If you're gonna knock me out, knock me out. I'm not. Don't beat me by unanimous decision. Because don't try and grind me out. Whatever. Because even if you try and do that, if that's your plan, that's where you're gonna fail. You know what I'm saying? So this guy's gonna have to come in with the game plan to finish me. You gotta end me. You gotta choke me. Put me to sleep, knock me out. You know what I'm saying? Do something, but don't think that you're about to go to decision because it's not gonna happen that way. I'm not gonna allow it to happen.
Right. That's what I hope to see too. Not you go out. I don't want to see anybody go out, but I want to see the fire you guys bring to the what do you say, octagon or ring? I don't fucking know. Cage. Into the cage. Cage. Inside the cage, you guys bring very well-rounded skill sets, like you said before, right? And as someone who likes to watch that type of shit, I'm not going to say no. I want to see that. That's exactly what I want to see. And it's good to see that both guys are on the same page. But one thing about your game that I will note the most, right, is you're pretty good. People like have an idea, and I've seen all those shit talking up to your fights too, right? Like all that shit's on YouTube or the WXC or conferences. So everyone's like, oh, I'm just going to knock him out. Or, oh, like he wants to get into a brawl. I'm not going to let him. I'm going to blah, 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 blah. And so far, you know, you've done a pretty good job at goading people into being like, oh, he's getting wild. Let me get inside. Like, haha, gotcha, bit. Like every single time that I see, like you got to slow it down. You got to watch the slow motion. But when you had the KO of the year last year and the submission of the year last year, both those guys are like, this is the perfect position I should be in, right? This is exactly where I wanted to put Willis. I wanted to put Willis on his back. There's nothing he can do off his back that'll put me in a bad spot. Or, you know, I'm going to push Willis against the cage, and maybe he'll start swinging wildly, and maybe I can start going inside, right? So we say that we saw that with Jake Boswick. So, you know, it looks wild, but when you slow it down, you see Willis shit, and you're just unorthodox in that way. At least for that fight, I don't know. We haven't seen the brand spanking new Willis Black now. He might bring a different skill set to the table, right? So we don't know now, but from what I saw in that last fight, you were just doing a really good job of moving the head and sweeping it outside and following it up with the right hand or a jab or a right straight. I think you finished it with the right straight or a left. Was it a right or a left straight?
I think it was both.
Yeah.
Right left.
It happened real fast. So when you're watching it live, it happened so fast. You're like, oh no, there must have been some component there where he dragged him into the brawl. You did drag him into the brawl, but he for someone who is an accomplished striker, you got him to put his hands down. You put him exactly where you wanted to be. You're back against the cage. You're getting to load up and put him in a position where he was a technical striker. That was his thing. He likes to have the leg kicks, and he likes to go people in brawls or be a technical or outstrike them. He was hoping to do that against you, and you were like, not today. Not today. You're not.
He threw the right punch though. You know,
yeah.
I think his punch that he threw, the one I ducked under before I hit him with the right left, that would have been the one to drop me. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened to not land. It just slipped right over my head, and I caught him.
I wonder why. It couldn't have been because of your head movement. That couldn't have been it. Because again, like it doesn't look like it, but you can see from the hips and from where your feet are, you were using. It was weird, but it was like a weird boxing head movement. You moved out of one frame, and when you knew another strike was coming, you moved just out of reach. Like you just moved it. It was all, I don't know if that's instinctual or you saw something, but that's exactly what I saw several other times. It's something that you've worked into your plan. There's definitely an art to brawling, but you have a good job. You do a good job at mastering that art, but also obviously through a technical standpoint too.
Yes, and now it's one thing that Chopin told me, and this really stuck with me, is that he really likes my style. He wants me to keep my style, but he wants me to clean it up and not allow it to be so 50-50.
Right.
And that's always been the thing, is that I have good reflexes. I'm pretty quick when it comes to moving, you know, good head movement, you know, fast hands, heavy hands. But my reflexes are there. You know what I'm saying? I see a kick coming, check. I see a punch coming, slip, weave. You see what I'm saying? But he wants me to not allow it to be so 50-50. So keeping my hands up, making sure that I'm countering the right way, making sure that when I'm punching, my hands are still staying up. Right. I'm bringing it back. So so that's what I've been really working. I've been focusing a lot on that. You see what I'm saying? So not allowing it to be so 50-50, still keeping the same skill set, still keeping the same pressure, you know, even trying to lure people into brawling with me, right? But doing it and not allowing it to be so 50-50, you know, at least get it up to 60-40, you know, and I'll slowly work my percentages up from there, you know, but this is the first step. So that's what I intend on showing this next fight, is the first step to my evolution, you know, as a striker. So
I mean, like, and on top of all that, on top of you having that physical prowess, the obvious physical prowess is that you are a student of the game, and if you're willing to go out there and learn, which you're fucking clearly doing. This is a guy that went out and went to Jackson Wink. You know, like he took the money out or did whatever he had to do to fucking get out there and learn, and then go out and go to Florida and learn. this is your university. You know what I mean? Like you're spending the time getting your mind sharp and right. And one of the best things about learning a striking martial art from someone, a world champion, right? One of the best, you said one of the best Muay Thai kickboxers in the world, is getting to learn that art at even a basic level and understanding, like you said before, what you're seeing. So now you're incorporating it into your style, right? You're saying you're incorporating those fundamentals, protecting your face, maybe even cleaning. One of the biggest things I've even noticed from getting coaches to learn, not even some of the best in the world, but just professional fighters or people who've been doing it for a while, is no wasted movement. Like learning what things are unnecessary when you're doing certain strikes, learning how to throw a hook correctly without injuring your wrist or breaking your hand, and even exerting yourself too much. Learning how to clean up all those things, and just through a Muay Thai standpoint, that's important to know too. There's so many different kicks from so many different angles you can learn, punches from different angles, elbows from different angles. Learning those angles and being able to see those angles for somebody who is as good as that, which you've already shown that you're able to compete at that level and overcome anybody at that level, is you're able to see, now you're able to take that one step further. I know where he's putting his feet, so I know what he's trying to do. This is what he told me he's going to do, and this is what he's showing me he's going to do. Unless he switches it up, which not a lot of people do, I'm going to be able to react better. I'm going to be able to think. I'm going to be able to apply this athleticism better. So it's going to be real scary to see how you go up the ranks, picking up all this like a just a rocket, just picking up all the shit you're learning up, and it's just going to shoot you right to the top.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, I honestly, I'm enjoying this process so much. Like the process of learning, I enjoy it so much. And I just want to continue to learn. I want to continue to grow. I don't ever want to be one of those people who get to a point where I'm only going to the gym just to spar, or I'm only going to the gym just to get a roll in. I want to go and get an education. Like you said, this is my university, and I want to go get an education. Right. I need to get that degree. And I don't need to stop. I don't need to ever stop, because it's gonna always be somebody out there evolving. Yeah. And if I ever stop evolving, I'm giving them a chance to pass me up. Or I'm giving myself less of a chance to catch up. So,
I mean, and also just through learning, like you're also keeping current with like the current trends. So like, one thing that I saw, like Herb Dean said, right? So Herb Dean's like, he went out and did 2 or 3 professional fights, and he went out and he's high in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and so on and so forth. So, he might not be the top of the world, but as a result, because he watches the sport, he's like, okay, so I'm able to know when someone's in danger now because of certain things. Like, I don't know that a ref would have known that off that back, that weird guillotine choke that you had. I don't know that other than him tapping. Let's say he didn't tap, right? And you just put him out, or you broke his neck or some shit. Like, someone who doesn't know what that is or doesn't know what to be looking for might just not even notice. That's something that didn't even occur to me when Herb Dean said it. He's like, I gotta know when people are in danger in certain, because jiu-jitsu's it feels like it's constantly evolving, or there's a new trend, heel hooks, or a new trend doing some crazy fancy shit that you would never see, that you wouldn't think to see, or doing old shit that you don't think anyone would do in a certain there's this guy Olenek that fights as a heavyweight that chokes people off his back. He does what the fuck is that called? An Ezekiel choke off his back. Yeah. And it's and people are that's old gi jiu-jitsu shit that people do. You have to be real strong to do shit like that. But he's found a way to do it several times. People haven't figured out an answer for it, and even people who are pretty good grapplers too. So, it's good to know. It's good to see that. It's good to be a student of the sport. I mean, you don't always have to be. Not everyone has to be. But I think, why not? Why not have that edge of your game just covered? Just why not have it covered? Don't like you said before. You don't want to leave certain shit up to 50-50, right? Why would you do that with your brain?
Exactly. Yeah. It's well put. Well put.
So we're getting that lined up for June. Not June. We're in July now. We're July. No, we're gonna be in July. We're still in June. July 3rd.
July 3rd. Yep.
Quite the journey, right? So you were coming off a little bit of an injury.
Yeah. Back at the start of March, I had a groin injury. So Did some PT for that. Still, I still do exercises and stuff like that. I won't be stupid anymore. I think my groins I had weak groins because nobody ever thinks like, oh, let me do some groin exercises, get my adductor stronger. Like I just never really thought about it. It was something I haven't thought about.
Right.
And now, now I'm more conscious of it. Make sure I keep my groin strong.
Right.
I just know that only exercises I do is like if I see a box that need to be moved, I push it with my leg. I end up hurting I hurt my groin doing stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, now I understand why. It's because I literally have weak groins. So I have to make sure I keep those strong. Just make sure you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if those are weak, then my legs are weak. So
that's something I learned about in football too. Like it never really occurred to me until like I was done with it. It's just like when you're a kid, you're like, I don't want to do this shit. But I learned the importance of it much later. But you prevent injury like on that field and in fighting too with self preparation, and not only just the intelligent part of it, understanding not putting yourself in bad situations, but you're in self preparation. You need to lift and strengthen certain things, like you said before, like your groin, things that you wouldn't normally use, Achilles, whatever the case may be. It's things like I'm sure you've been doing, like rehabilitation type shit for your groin. Just doing things like that normally is good. Building that functional strength.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. So that's what I've been trying to do. Keep up with everything, even the things that I haven't thought about before. I'm starting to think more about everything, and like beyond just the groin. Like that was an eye opener for a lot of things. So
beyond the groin.
That's like I said. It's a part of learning. I'm still learning, and that's not just jiu-jitsu and boxing, but I'm also learning physical strength ideas and moving forward as far as my conditioning.
Right.
I'm learning something new every single day.
Every day.
No matter what it is, and I learn something new that sticks too, and not just learning something that's gonna go right out the window. I'm learning things that stick and that I'm gonna apply. So. And I can be the best skillful fighter in the world, but if I'm not taking care of my body, then that's another fail. So that's why I have to make sure that I'm versed in every single aspect of the game. So,
if you were a billionaire, would you still fight? Like, is this something that would still be like in your realm of like if you were a billionaire, right? You have to worry about a fucking thing in the world, right? Would you still go out and like have to do all this shit? Like, I know.
If you asked me 2 years ago, that's the question.
Yeah,
I would have told no.
Huh. But now it's different. So
now it's different. Something changed inside of me, and it's different completely.
Cause like I wonder like there's like some crazy ass shit people go out and do out there who like are like like they have enough money, or like maybe I don't know if they have enough money, but I don't know their finances like that. But they have enough fame, they don't need to do they don't need to fight anymore, or they have like a good like this weekend. I don't know if you're watching it. I religiously watch these because it's just I can't believe it's legal. Bare knuckle boxing. They're gonna have Artem Lobov fight Paulie Malignaggi tomorrow on Saturday, and I always want like if you were a billionaire, would you do that? Because like people are like, why is Paulie doing this shit? like why is he going out like beating up dudes who are clearly not on his level of boxing? Like, and he's like having a good time doing it, and I don't think they paid him pretty well, but I don't think it was for the money. I just think he likes fighting, and like for him, like it's a high risk, it's a low risk high reward, or high risk low reward depending on how you look at it. But I feel he feels so confident in his ability, he's just gonna go out there and I don't know that he's gonna go out there and knock out Artem Lobov, but he's either gonna outpoint him or he's gonna brutalize him. There's no one that walks away with a not fucked up face in bare knuckle boxing. But I always wonder, like, would you do if you had all the chips in your court, right? You have international fame. Everyone knows Willis. Everyone knows outside of Michigan knows Willis A. Black now. He's the fucking next Wheaties box super athlete, and now he's a billionaire. He doesn't have to fight anymore. Would you fight bare knuckle boxing? Would you do shit like that? Would you just do anything you want?
I would still do mixed martial arts. Yes. The reason why is because it's something more important to me than just everybody knowing my name or just being on a Wheaties box. It's something more important than just the money.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm trying to accomplish. So, and I think that when you see people with money, Conor McGregor has all the money he needs.
Yeah.
He don't have to fight anymore.
Yeah.
You know, but he gets in there, he still fights.
Right.
You know, and it's because it's something that he's trying to accomplish.
Right.
And I think that that in the same instance as me, it's something that I need to accomplish before I leave this sport. Now, if I've accomplished what I set forth to accomplish.
Yeah.
And I have $1 billion in my account, but I've accomplished that.
Yeah.
Then I'll sit back, I'll relax, I'll enjoy the rest of the physical youth I have left.
Yeah.
But if not, if I haven't accomplished what I set forth to accomplish, and let's say I hit the mega billions or something, and I get $1 billion, I'm still gonna say. Matter of fact, and this is just me being 100% real with you. Yeah. Now I have the money that I need to invest in my training camp to make my training camp everything that I want it to be.
That's the other part of your game too, right? So you cover the mental, you cover the physical, but then you cover, through just good exposure and good team and good all that shit. You're financially dumping whatever resource you have into making yourself better. Right. So.
Oh yeah. So a lot of people don't understand that I do that. A lot of people don't know that I do that either.
No.
I take my checks. I pay up some of my bills, and everything that I have left outside of that, and I couldn't do it without the support of my girl.
Right.
But everything that I have left, I invest it right back into my camp. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and a lot of people don't, and not a lot of people not willing to do that. No. Take their whole check. If I win, best believe that any of my winnings is not going towards, something fun for me. Right. Everything, my bonus from my win bonus is going all towards my next camp, all towards, equipment and resources that I need for training.
One step ahead. You're always one step ahead.
Yeah, and the rest of it that I had I pay my bills up, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And put some money aside for, whatever cost I might have in my life in that meantime. But everything else goes right back into into me as a fighter. Not into me, but into me as a fighter. And into Silverback Black. Not Willis Black. Silverback.
Into the alter ego. But at what point does the man take off the mask and he's always just the Silverback? When do we always get Silverback Black out here? I guess when you get the main stage. When you get the main stage and you get the shine on you and you get the matchups you want, that's when we get to see the Silverback. That's when we get to see it.
Agree.
Because even outside, right? When you're even in it's difficult. I'm gonna imagine it's gonna be difficult for people to talk shit to you because you're just smiling. You're not scared. So it's people who are talking crazy shit to you or who want to get under the skin, you're like, all right, we're gonna fight, dude. So it's let's do this, man.
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh man.
Because at the end of the day, when I was an amateur and I first got into the game, even starting as a pro, I used to be so nervous getting in the cage, and I used to think. I remember somebody told me that the day that you're not nervous going into the cage, something's wrong. Everybody should be a little nervous or something like that. Yeah. And I don't know what snapped inside of me, but it's no, I don't think anything's wrong. I don't think anything's wrong with me. Yeah. I think I understand something now that I didn't understand before, which is this is what I signed up to do. Yeah. You in there now. We in the cage, we across from each other. We in here now. The door is locked. No. It's nothing to be nervous about at this point. What am I nervous about? Am I nervous about losing? No. Am I nervous about, getting knocked out, getting my arm, tweaked or something like that? No. This is what I signed up to do. Yeah. So I understand that concept now. So it's it really sunk in. Like a midlife crisis, that moment you realize that one day we're going to die, and you accept it. It sunk in. I came to the realization. Yeah. And now I don't have that nervous feeling hovering over me anymore. All that nervous feeling does is weaken your arms, weaken your legs, get your adrenaline pumped up, get you tired faster, and I don't have time for that because that's not what I came to do. I didn't come to be scared. I didn't come to win. I came to fight. That's what I came to achieve. Yeah. To fight, become a fighter, and improve to myself. Right. And not just anybody else, not just the fans, to prove to myself that I am capable of this. Right. Yeah. And not just that kid is athletic and he got heavy hands. I want to know. I want to know at the end of the day, beyond an unreasonable doubt, that I went down the best that I could possibly go down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure that if somebody's going to come in there and knock me out, if somebody's going to come in there and choke me out, I want to make sure that they got to work to earn that shit. I'm not giving you nothing, and I'm not giving it to you in any type of way. Not coming in there, you know, nervous and scared and beat before I even get in the cage. That's not me. It's not me.
I'm thinking in my head like how much I would shit my pants if I got into a cage and just looking across Willis, is just like eyes all bugged out, mouthing the words, "You in here now?" Like I got like this look of like you ever see you were given this look like you ever see the Third Friday movie, Friday After the Next, with Terry Crews and Cat Williams?
I did. I'm trying to remember how that one went though. You know they got a few Fridays.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
So there's this scene in that movie. I love all of those movies. There's supposed to be another one coming out. I don't know if they like axed that project or not, but you know, Cat Williams is taking a piss in the toilet, and you hear the door open, and Terry Crews walks in, and he's looking in there, and he locks the door. That's the same look you just gave me when you were like talking about people coming in there. And you're like, "You in here now, motherfucker?" Oh my god, it's the same exact look. I'm so terrified. Oh fuck. But yeah, man, that's that fearless mentality. Like that's what you need, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure there's champions out there that felt fear and have even talked about it or have felt like Rory McDonald has been on this weird thing recently where he's like, you know, I found God. Not that it's weird to find God, but I mean, for him to come out of nowhere and be like, I found God, so like it's harder for me to hurt people now. It's like, it's interesting to see like where psychology takes you, like, you know, or I guess sports psychology takes you, and it makes you completely change the way you approach a game now. You know what I mean? He isn't fighting with the same ferocity, and even if it's not that, even if it's not the coming to Jesus moment, we've seen Eddy Alvarez go over to one championship, and he's like, I just couldn't turn it on. You know, and he said I felt this way the last few fights, and that's like scary. So you kind of have, like we said before, you got to be well rounded in all aspects, and part of it is the mental component and going in there, you know, ready and sharp, and even if it was like Joanna Jędrzejczyk has the same mentality you have. You know what I mean? Like she goes in there, she's like, I don't care that she's fucking beat me. I'm gonna go out there and do the same fucking shit that I've done every single time. I'm going out there, I'm gonna be in your face, I'm gonna throw combinations, I'm gonna try to put you away. And it's like you see that mentality almost all the time with the great athletes, even if the ones that aren't champions, but with champions too. You know, no quit.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I did promise myself that if I ever came to a point where I felt like that, where I lost it, I lost it mentally, where I just didn't have that fire inside of me anymore, that I would call it quits at that time.
Right.
You know, finish out whatever contract I have, and I would call it quits.
Right.
Because that's not what like I said, that's not the goal that I set forth, and it's not just about money to me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, beyond that, I don't want to tarnish my legacy by just going out there and fighting for the check. You know what I'm saying? So. If it was just about money to me, if it was just about getting that check, then I would just fight. I would, you know, spend my cash however I wanted to spend it until the next time I fight, you know. Right. And I would just take any old fight, you know, and do any old thing with any old promotion anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Go in there, fight, lose, but pay me. Yeah. You know, win, pay me. Yeah. You know, and pay me more, you know, but going out there every other week, every other month, and you know, oh, I got an injury, whatever, you know, I'll fight through it. Oh, it hurt me too bad, tap out. I'll just go out there and get my check. But it's not just about that to me. It's not about.
That's the other crazy shit about this sport. People fight injured all the time. Like almost every it's almost a miracle. Like there was like last 2 years ago, like every UFC had like the top 3 people out of it. It was like so rampant, and you know, they've got it under control now. I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe they made some changes behind the scenes or whatever. Like maybe, like in the NFL, like one of the things they added to the league was like, hey, no more fucking contact in spring or whatever it is, or no full contact to a certain time, and they do the same thing. I don't know. Whatever they do, it's been working because everyone's been fucking healthy. So for the most part, but you know, even like Henry Cejudo, like he's badly sprained his ankle before he fought Marlon Moraes recently. You brought up Conor McGregor. But Conor McGregor fought Chad Mendes with 2 torn ACLs. Like you get it's so crazy that like the level, like the mental toughness you have to be to go out there. Diego Sanchez in the Ultimate Fighter was fighting with all types of fucked up injuries. Like they were coming in there hurt. So the mental component to this game is bar none, probably about 50-50, right? Mental game and your physical form.
Yeah. And at first I used to have a mentality that, I'll fight through it no matter what. But with having good people in my corner, smart people, like Nico. Right. Who to give me the right counsel and stuff like that. Right. I realized something very important, you know what I'm saying? And that's that, because he told me, he said that, if you're injured, he said, I don't want to hear you lost because of the injury. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of sense. It makes sense in the aspect of, like I said, what I'm trying to accomplish. Right. And what I'm trying to accomplish, I don't want to go out there on an injury and not knowing if I lost or if I could have did better if I didn't have the injury. Yeah. And it's also not fair to my opponent. Right. For me to go out there with under little nagging injuries, right. Not injuries but like pain or whatever, that you can fight. Like you as a fighter, you know what I'm saying? What a true injury is and what you can't fight with. I couldn't move my leg that well.
Right. That's the distinction. That's the distinction I want to make. When I say, fighters fight on injuries, I don't mean in Conor's case, he told people he fought on torn ACLs. I don't know if it's true, but that's what he said. So I have to take him face value, and I think he even had like fucking X-rays and shit. They had like the whole documentary, the McGregor documentary. I'm not saying that's always the case, but like when I say that, I want like the casual to be like, understand like what a nagging injury is to you is like what's way different than like what like would make people not show up to work in an office the next day. You know what I mean? Like you guys, you're because of your level of athleticism and also the care you take care of your body, you guys fucking heal pretty quickly, or you deal with nagging injuries like way better than the
average person. Pain is pain. If it's just pain, then you just eat it up. You know what I'm saying? Right. Deal with the pain. But if it's actually something that's disabling you from being able to perform, then you understand that. You know what I'm saying?
You'll know.
And I've had a fight. I fought Bobby Nash. I was dehydrated. Mm-hmm. Went into the fight. I fought Chaos. I broke my foot like 10 seconds into round 2 in the championship fight. I fought Daquan Townsend. I went in there with a broken wrist. Right. And I continue to fight on injuries. And now I'm at a point where it's not fair, not only to myself, it's not fair to my opponent, because now you're not getting the best me. I'm not giving you the best me, and you're not getting the best me. So, if I take the time to make sure I take care of my health, I have to take care of my health.
That, aside from, fucking classic Willis, just humble as shit. Aside from it, the fairness of it, you're damaging your body like irreversibly. Like if you fight on injuries that are bad injuries, which a lot of people do, the rebound is not going to be as good over time. You get older, and it's going to be fucking way more difficult to rebound from certain injuries, or you get nerve damage, or you're more likely to re-injure something. So in that short term, unless you're at that big stage, you're like, man, this is for the fucking welterweight championship in the UFC, and I know I can fight. So, some people make that decision. I'm not saying everyone does that, but I understand why people make it to a certain level and are like, I will fight with that injury and take the chance. Maybe I'm good enough, or maybe I just have to roll because, the world's looking at me right now. I understand why people go out there and do
only that fighter at that time can make that decision and judge it as well. You know what I'm saying? Because in a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, in a certain way, if I have an injury and I know I'm good enough to still fight with this injury, you know what I'm saying? Then maybe I go out there and I do it with this injury. But if I feel like this injury, for me, this is for me. Right. If I feel like, and this is now, like I said, like I haven't always been this way. Right. And this is part of me, growing my growth and, getting the right counsel and also becoming smarter on my own, But right now, like me right now, I know if I have an injury and I know that this injury is going to disable me from being able to perform,
right?
You know, I want to go out there and perform. And if it's going to stop me from being able to, you know, fight my fight
right.
the way I like to fight, then I'm not going to do it, you know, at this point. But if it's something, if it's an injury that disables me from doing something that I know that I'm not going to do, right. I'm not going to care. I don't give it two shits. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go out there and still fight because I'm still going to be able to fight my fight. You're going to still get the best of me.
Right.
You know? So, like, if I was to, like, you know, just an example, let's say I freaking tore a butt muscle, right? and I don't throw kicks. Yeah. Right? And the only thing that will hurt is for me to throw kicks. But I can go do everything else in my game. Maybe I'll just go out there and fight and do what I do best.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're still gonna get me. You're still gonna get me, and I'm still gonna be able to go out there and perform as hard as I would have before the injury. That was just an example.
Right. Like John.
I'm not saying I throw a butt cheek muscle.
He's not foreshadowing his cheeks being taken. But you know, that's some scary shit. I understand. Like, I mean, I don't understand. I don't like. It's hard for people like who don't, I guess, fight, right? Myself to like even conceptualize it. Like, I can try to understand. I can listen to you speak about it. But there's like, that's what makes this sport so intriguing is like you get these people who are so driven and could do literally anything they put their minds to, and they have chosen to go out there and just break faces. Who does it the best? Whoever breaks faces the best, whoever chokes somebody the best, whoever, you know, whatever they're the best at in the world, they go out there and they apply it to the sport, and it's fucking awesome to watch, man. Like, Fight Pass is the shit. I love having Fight Pass. I am showered by people fighting 24/7 every single day. It's great.
That's true. They be having a lot of events up there.
Yeah.
On a regular basis, yeah.
Happens all the time. But that's basically what I have. I'm glad you came back. Let's do this all the time. I've a fucking great time, man. Every single time it's a great time.
Every single time we'll do it.
It's fun. Even the side. I want to go out to a WXC event. And you know, hopefully it can't be this upcoming one right now, but hopefully, you know, I'll get to see the main attraction that we all want to see. You know, Austin Tweedy has his Justin James, and you have somebody else, and you have somebody else lined up too. But one hurdle at a time. That's always the way you approach the game, and it's, you know, it's outstanding focus, outstanding leader in your community, outstanding father. Father's Day. Shouts out to the dads. Father's Day passed. Ladies,
Happy Father's Day.
Take a fucking seat, ladies. Take a fucking seat until it's your time. And when it's your birthday, when it's the Father's week. We're making it Father's Week. Fuck that shit. It's Father's Week. We're taking our manhood back, okay?
All the fathers out there, happy Father's Week.
Happy Father's Week. Listen, fucking, we're gearing up to go fight Iran, okay? We need to get our balls back. We need to start honoring our fathers. Those are the people who are going to go over there and blow those fucking guys up so we can continue watching fights without any...
man. Speaking of... You're right, man. It's about to go down. I don't know what's about to happen next.
It's like already going down. Like, I look every other week. Like, so there's like this big. This is the second half of the podcast where me and Will talk about conspiracies for the next 2 hours. But fucking there's an oil tanker attack, right? So there's an oil tanker attack. And Iran's like, we didn't do it. We're like, you did it, but okay, whatever. Like, like that was the first one. And then there was like a rash of other ones happening all over the place in the same areas. And Iran today shot down an American drone. We've deployed.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
We deployed 1,000 soldiers over there for an undisclosed reason. It was for defense purposes. You know, it's the hot button. And it looks like we're going there. It looks like we're probably going to end up going there. We're already there. We've everything but a national address. If you see like Donald Trump's national address this week or whatever it is, know that well is going to be the address that we're going to have. Hey, we're going to war with Iran. It's probably going to happen, and it's fucking scary.
The real Warrior Wednesday 3.
Oh shit! You're willing to fight for your country, Willis? What if they did that? What if like we're dropping Willis in there? He's not gonna kill anybody, but the freedom of the world is on Willis Eddy Black's. He's gonna fight the best welterweight that Iran has to offer. You have to do it for America.
And I had no choice. I ain't got no choices then. I'm about to go out there and do what I can.
Iran's
I'm gonna run all the way to the border, take a flight over to the other side and run from the border all the way there. Just getting my cardio in so I can be ready.
That's what's gonna happen, right? Everyone's got the conception that Mexico, whoever in South America is hopping over there. As soon as there's a draft, everyone's fucking going to Mexico. Everyone's hopping the border going to Mexico. Everyone's going to Canada. I'm draft dodging. Fuck that shit. I'm not fighting for nickels. What? Get the fuck out of here. I'm not killing some people I don't know. What the fuck?
That's the only thing that I don't like. I don't want to. I'm not trying to fight nobody. That they fighting for the same reason because somebody told them to.
Yeah, fucking Iran's hard-nosed as shit, too. They have some of the best wrestlers in the entire world. I want to fuck with Iran. Iran is not... Like, everyone doesn't understand the gravity of this. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, we're probably going to go to war with Iran. I'm like, guys, this is not going to be fun. Like, they were, like, directly backed by Russians. Like, it's not like, we're going in there and their military is just going to roll over. Like, they might, but if you thought fucking Iraq was a hard time... Like, the shit they're blowing up the oil tankers with, it's like magnetic mines, and they got anti-air missile drones and shit. Like... What do you think ISIS 2 is gonna be like? Like this is not gonna be a fun time. This is not gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I mean, whew. Honestly, it's scary to me. I was like, man, like it can one wrong move, one wrong move either side can be.
Another world war. Like, you're like, fuck, shit's going good. Like, I'm getting fights and shit.
I know. I don't got time for bio warfare.
Yeah. That's what we know. They know they've been fucking around with nuclear shit. They even made a movie about it, Back to the Future. People trying to get nuclear scientists over in Iran. That was the beginning of that movie. it was the Red Scare and shit type shit over there.
Yeah.
Dirty ass bombs and shit, man. That's not gonna be fucking fun. I don't want to bum you out. You're getting ready to this fight. Let's wrap up. Let's wrap up the podcast on a good note. Willis is fucking a great dude. He's a great fighter. Just go ahead. So what's social media? Plug all your stuff coming up, and then we'll wrap it up that way. Gyms, sponsorships, all that shit.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Woo. I got a lot of people to thank.
This could be a list. Here we go.
First and foremostly, thank you, Fast Eddy, because you're a solid opponent. I appreciate you taking the fight. Let's throw these hands come July 3rd. Hashtag no decisions. Thank you, WXC. Thank you, Just BU 360. Thank you, Ramos Athletic Center, Bushido MMA IPSI. Thank you, Final Round Ann Arbor. Thank you, Hoist Gracie Academy of Michigan. Thank you, KO Zone. Thank you, Hard Knocks. Hungry Hustler Fitness. Tarantula Genetics, System MMA, First Round Management, Nico, Gregory Choplin, Craig Crawford, Chris Simpson, Travis Spivey, and thank you, Wes Cofield, all of you guys for helping me put in a strong camp and get ready, as well as all of my sponsors and teammates that I didn't name. And thank you to my girl. Thank you, Trey, Catchweight Update. And you can follow me on Instagram at Silverback Black, Twitter at Silverback Black, and Facebook /Silverback Black.
There we go. Any last words for your opponent, Mr. Fast Eddy?
Nope.
You know what? Willis has got his fucking shirt off. I'm doing it too. Fuck this shit. Catchweight update.